Verbal or life.
Welcome to verbalonlife. My name is Noel, battling MS, and I wanted to talk about, in this episode, I wanted to talk about Stephen A. Smith because the left wing, the Democratic Party, are losing it because they're losing their narrative. They can't hold on to that talking points, and it's showing. Here, everybody flipped out on Stephen A. for putting out the obvious that people should be looking at, that people should see, but are just refusing it because a lot of people are blue no matter who. So let's talk about it. We're gonna review a video from the conservative, the black conservative, that talks about this. Stephen A. Smith, he has a loud voice, but good thing that he's not on ESPN anymore and he's able to speak the truth. He doesn't have a paycheck, it seems. So you know how it is when you're getting paid, you sell yourself out. A lot of people just sell themselves out or sell their souls out and don't really be honest. So we're going to take a look at a clip by the black conservative. Let's take a look. Enough of me talking. Moving on. But I'm glad you guys are here joining me, taking a look at this. I'll stop and talk every now and then.
I got to tell you something. As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we have. And that's what he ought.
Thank you for speaking. I mean, he's pointing out the obvious. I hate the fact that some people are just not speaking the truth when they have a microphone, when they have a platform.
Articulated.
Please explain to me how the black community relates to Donald Trump. This man has several indictments, 91 criminal charges, 2 impeachments, tried to overthrow the government where he called on his supporters to storm the Capitol where they wind up killing 2 Capitol Police and also wind up being shot by Capitol Police. You explain to me how we can relate to somebody who had to pay a settlement for rape allegations, then had to pay restitution on top of that for defamation. Why is it and who is it that keeps platforming these quote unquote black activists that's supposed to speak for the entirety of our community always?
So here's the talking point. This guy is just pointing out what the Democrats want you to hear and want you to believe. That is sad.
Trying to speak and lead with stereotypical tropes of African Americans, like black people and criminality are synonymous when they're not. Stephen A. Smith needs to learn how to turn the TV off and read a motherfucking book because we loved power. Oh yeah, we love fake shit. But in reality, black people aren't criminals. In reality, black people are entrepreneurs. We're business owners. We're CEOs. We're leaders. We're lawyers. We're lawmakers. The thing that's so stupid about this is Stephen A. Smith is too damn grown and too damn old to be acting this stupid.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Stephen A. Smith. Yes, I know, another Stephen A. Smith video. Oh, you always talk about Stephen A. Smith. Nobody cares about Stephen A. Smith's opinions. Well, listen, I would agree with you, right? In a normal world, we would not care about Stephen A. Smith's opinions when it comes to politics. However, Stephen A. has decided to get into politics.
Yes, and this time we got to listen to Stephen A. because he's pointing out the obvious and he's pointing out the fact that he has a problem that people don't see how the law is being weaponized against Trump, making him a victim, making people relate more to him.
And what is happening to Stephen A. is what happens to every black person that dares be critical of the Democrat Party or say anything good about the opposition to the Democrat Party, aka Trump. Okay, he is getting his lashes and his black card revoked, so to speak, because he made this statement about how black people are identifying with Trump due to the political persecutions against him. Right?
Do you identify with Trump? Put it in the comment section because I identify with Trump. Like people who don't have the money to fight the legal system end up losing. You got nothing to say because you don't have the money to pay the lawyers and to do everything that Trump is doing. So here we have a big guy fighting the legal system, putting up all his money. And that's crazy. They're trying to drain him off of his money just to lose the election.
Saying that, well, there's some black people out there who look at what's happening to Trump. Okay, the fact that the state, Biden's weaponized DOJ, is going after Trump. They're saying, hey, look, I can kind of identify what Trump is going through based off what black people have been through when it comes to the criminal justice system. And, you know, that could be a reason why some black people have decided that, hey, you know what, maybe I could support Trump because of what he's going through. And he said that on Sean Hannity's show. Take a look.
Think about Donald Trump. I think about this case in New York. I mean, I'm looking at the Democrats right now. And again, primarily, I have voted Democrat throughout my life, but I'm utterly disgusted with what I'm seeing because it seems to me that they're trying to use the law in the courts. They've clearly politicized this thing with Donald Trump because they can't come up with a strategy to offset the momentum he's clearly gained. In at least 5 polls, he's up. He's up in the polls over Biden, at least 5 polls that I counted. That's the reality of the situation. Despite the counts against them, the indictments against them, being impeached twice and all of this other stuff, he is the presumptive GOP nominee. And you don't seem to have the issues in your favor, you believe. So because of that, you're going to manipulate the system as best as you possibly can to avoid him possibly running for.
So some people got a problem with Stephen A. pointing out the obvious, telling the Democrats, like, let's switch it up and stop attacking Trump because you're making him look like a victim. But I mean, we live in some crazy time, and I cannot believe Trump is the victim. I'm a super duper millionaire. I never thought in $1 million that I would, or in a million years, I mean, that I would actually be on Trump's side. But the more and more they attack, the more and more I see myself on his side.
Re-election again. That appears to be their strategy, but I'm here to tell you it's not working. But I got to tell you something. As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we.
I'll say this much. I don't like the fact that he says black folks, but I think everybody relates to this. Not just black folks. So I want to say that much. The fact that we got to stop doing identity politics, right? People in general identify with this. It's not only black people, everybody. So let's stop using identity politics.
And that's what he articulated.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, so Stephen A. Smith has pissed some people off with those comments, and I want to play some of the reactions here. But before I get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield.
All right, so I'm gonna skip the commercial, but like I said, in my opinion, we got to let go of identity politics. And Trump is doing a great service, just taking off the veil and showing us that these politicians are not really playing by the rules. They're using the law and order against him, and they're trying to drain him out of pocket, out of money. They're trying to make him look bad for the public. And it works for some people, but it's not working for everybody. And Stephen A. Smith got a point. At the end of the day, he ended up getting attacked by a lot of people for pointing out the obvious and for telling people to wake up, to see what's going on and point it out. Say it, say something. The economy is not doing good, you know, but he really did a great service for everybody. All right, let's keep listening to what he got to say. Check this out.
virtualshield.com/BCP.
So I did an earlier video about Stephen A. Smith. Then I took it down because I didn't feel like that I conveyed it correctly. And really what I want to say is, why do you have to have an opinion about everything? Like, why are you, Stephen A. Smith, successful by all measures? Why are you going on Fox News? Why are you going on Hannity?
You see that a lot of people avoid Fox News or avoid what they call the other side and to listen to everybody, not just sticking to one point. Because a lot of people who are blue, no matter who, don't want to listen to the truth or don't want to listen to the other side and make an opinion.
And why are you comparing Trump's legal situation to that of the plight of Black Americans? It's fucking insane. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And if you did some research into Trump, and I wrote the book about the USFL, I know a lot about Donald Trump and his history. There is no comparison to be made. Black people are shit on over and over and over again. And here's this guy, Donald Trump, and I'm just being honest here. When the Central Park Five were exonerated, he continued to call for their death penalty and refused to accept it. I mean, he's a bad guy. When he had Queens housing, he limited the amount of available units for Blacks. Not a good guy. So stop fucking talking like you know, because you actually don't know in this subject. So,
but I want to say this to Mr. Stephen Anthony Smith, because that's your name, right? Equating what Black people went through to Donald Trump is the ultimate disrespect coming from you as a brother, right? Because if you was a real brother, you wouldn't say the shit that you said out of your mouth, especially to people like Sean Hannity, who is a low-key ass racist himself. Donald Trump will never be invited to the cookout.
You know, some people do not want to let go of identity politics. Just let it go. What else can you point out except for the race?
Just because he went on the other side of Harlem, which that was staged, doesn't mean he's invited to the cookout, because he's not. So I need folks like Stephen A. Smith, who is tap dancing for people that will continuously disrespect him and think of him as the other, need to read some books. Like my good sis always says, read some damn books, because that's what you need.
She sounds like a person stuck in history. What used to happen, how things were back in the days when people were racist. But we all know racism doesn't exist.
Because folks like you are the reason why that Black people can't stick together. Because men like you that get $2 forget who they are.
This is the quote. There's no polling dumb enough to ask Black people, do they think Trump, who would be in jail already if he were Black and by no means able to run for president if he were Black with his record, if they feel he's discriminated against and feel his plight is in any way like that of us? It's so stupid to be more hilarious and insulting. That's a joke. Now, Stephen A. says, that's not what I said. I think what happened is two thoughts were running together at one time, Cameron. But the fact of the matter is here. Trump people have said that. Trump said it. And remember, Cameron, when he got charged in Fulton County, on Fox News, other places, they were saying, oh, yeah, well, you know, Black people are identifying with Trump because he got a mugshot. And we're going to get, they literally were like, we're going to get Black votes because Black people say that's unfair and Donald Trump got a mugshot. First of all, Black people also know that we don't get to just show up when we want to show up and turn ourselves in and not do a perp walk. Black people also know that when we don't get to go to our doctor and voluntarily write down our weight. No, they're going to tell us, step your Black ass on that weight scale and go write that down. So even Donald Trump, when he got charged, got special treatment when he got charged. Ain't nothing that has happened to Donald Trump even remotely identifies with any Black person in the history of America.
Yeah, so I find it be hilarious about this whole conversation is the fact that the woke revolutionaries all of a sudden are trying to play the, well, Black people are not victims of the system card, right? When they have been playing that card forever, okay? But when Stephen A. Smith makes a comparison and says that, hey, you know, there's some Black people that identify with Trump because of his legal woes and what he's going through, the weaponization of the Justice Department against him, all of a sudden, no, Black people aren't criminals, right? All Black people are not suffering at the hands of the criminal justice system. black people not being oppressed anymore. That's just something that Trump is going through, right? And what Trump is going through is not even oppression, right? He's being treated favorably by the criminal justice system, which is hilarious to me because Biden and Hillary were accused of similar things that Trump has been accused of, and they didn't face any charges. Okay, they got off. So in my opinion, I think that Trump is being treated unfairly compared to how his peers would be treated had they been accused of the same things, which we have seen that before in the past. We've seen that before, and they got off. Okay, but again, in this case, I want you guys to understand, black people are not victims of the system, right? I'm glad that, you know, these people are acknowledging that. Okay, black people are not all criminals. Okay, and so when Republicans and conservatives come out here and they start talking about being tough on crime, how we need to stop the looting, right, and the stealing going on in this country, I don't want to hear anything about how, oh, they're targeting black folk. Because remember, all black people are not thieves, okay, and criminals, okay, and they're not being oppressed by the system. So I don't want to hear anything about how it's racist to be tough on crime or to stop looting and stealing, right? That's happening in these liberal cities, okay?
Roland Martin doesn't want to let go of the whole racism narrative. And I love the fact that Elon Musk and I think Piers Morgan, no, not Piers Morgan, another celebrity said, just stop talking about it. Just let it go. Let's look at your skills and what you can do. And that's it. That's the reality of things.
But with that being said, Stephen A. Smith did respond to the criticism, and this is what he said. Take a look.
Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me move on to some of you annoying asses and just get this out the way. And obviously, I'm talking about Donald Trump. I was a guest on Fox News' Sean Hannity's show last night to discuss the upcoming election, the trial, and Trump. Some people weren't happy about what I had to say. I've repeatedly said, I think Trump will cause civil war in this country. I can't vote for the brother. Y'all just going to ignore that. Why am I bringing all of this stuff up? Because the second black folks find somebody from our community that doesn't march 100% lockstep with one another, they a sellout. They this, they that. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. This is getting ridiculous, okay? Trump is winning. Y'all just gonna stand still? I'm wrong when I sit up there and I say, yo, Democrats, all you got is the soon-to-be 82-year-old incumbent. You didn't have anything in the bullpen. I'm wrong for bringing that up. I'm wrong for bringing up why the hell you had Gavin Newsom on Fox News looking like he's running for president instead of Joe Biden being the president or Kamala Harris being the vice president.
Shout out to Stephen A. again for being brave enough. That's what it takes. Brave enough to stand up to the audience and to speak the truth.
I'm wrong for bringing that up. I'm wrong for bringing up when I went off about Kamala Harris, our vice president, our HBCU grad from Howard University, a black woman, highly intelligent, former attorney general in the city of San Francisco, former attorney general in the state of California. I was wrong for bringing up how she was wrong to avoid getting into it with then presidential candidate Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, when he wanted to debate her on the good parts of slavery. I was wrong. I was wrong about that. I was wrong to say that's a fight she should have embraced. When y'all gonna wake up? I'm wrong when I'm pointing out how black folks for the first time are talking about the borders being flooded, how illegal immigration ultimately negatively affects us. I'm wrong. I'm wrong in pointing out how xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia has all of a sudden become bigger issues than racism in this country. I mean, damn. How much proof do you need? When I brought up the economy, they say the economy is good. They say the economy is flourishing. You trying to tell me you black and you disagree with me when I say to us, we don't want to hear about the numbers. Oh, the labor participation rate is good. Oh, unemployment is good. Oh, the economy is okay. If gas prices are damn near double what it used to be, if the price of bread, milk, cheese, and eggs and everything in between is double what it used to be, but we ain't getting raises at work. You trying to tell me I was wrong for bringing that up?
Thank you, Stephen A. Smith, for being honest. You know how hard it is to speak the honest truth to the crowd, to the audience, to everybody, because a lot of people want to ignore it, or the Democrats, they want to ignore the truth and what's really happening out there, pretending the economy is doing good. But when they go to grocery stores and are just regular people, they notice that we have a problem. People who got to deal with the illegals coming in, they notice we have a problem. Let me give a shout out to Byron Thomas, because you're right. People are people. Let's stop dividing people by race. People are people, and there's a problem, and people got to point it out. Like Stephen A. Smith is just pointing out the truth. Okay, there is a problem. So why are you not talking about it? You got to talk about it in order to see change. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be a problem. Let's keep listening.
You trying to tell me I'm wrong when you're sitting up there and you talking about and subjects like immigrants in New York City getting $53 million prepaid credit cards to subsidize their existence in this country.
That's crazy. You're getting money, and they're illegal in this country, and they're getting money. Whoa.
And I'm pointing out how that was never done for black people. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That's where we really want to go. That's what game we playing. I ain't talking politics. I'm talking life.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn that I'm inundated with sports all day, every day. I'm a human being. I'm a black man. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. You don't see this shit happening? I'm supposed to just sit idly by and say nothing? The hell with me talking. Why ain't you talking?
Yes.
Why ain't you screaming to the high heavens? Why aren't you telling liberals on the left, yo, you need to stop with the extreme leftist stuff on the fringes with all of that woke stuff?
Yep.
What sex you are, whether you a male or a female, whether you can be a male but call yourself a female and get to compete against women or girls in various sports. You want those issues to be more prevalent than the stuff going on in our community that directly affects our lives, as opposed to less than 1% of the damn population? What you doing? How come you ain't doing it? How come you ain't raising holy hell? How come you not speaking up? And by the way, to get specific, when I brought up Trump and whatever relation he has with black folks, the question that was asked to me was the supporters of Trump. Why are they doing so? I said, black folks want to be safe in the streets of America. They don't want to see somebody committing crimes, assault or whatever, and getting arrested and being out of jail in the same day. I said, black folks want to make money and they want to keep money in their pocket. They want to be safe. That's what I said. And I also said this. I said, yo, our criminal justice system, our courts, law enforcement, that anytime we see anybody that we deem to be an individual being persecuted, where the law is being exercised against them, the heavy hand of the law, do we find that relatable to some degree? Yes. I'm lying about that?
Wow. Stephen A. right there just said a lot. A lot. He spoke a lot of truth. And I got to give credit to Stephen A. The only thing he hasn't said is that I'm voting for Donald Trump. That's what it looks to me like. That's what he really wants to say. To be honest, at the end of the day, we have a system that we got to complain about it, but people are not complaining. A system being used against an individual. Forget race. Forget the color of the person. Somebody is being prosecuted by the law. Today is Trump. Tomorrow it can be you. Let's be honest, and people got to say something. Again, shout out to Byron Thomas. You wrote here, so sick of black people only talking about taking care of other black people. Let's all take care of each other and stop being discriminatory. Thank you. You 100%, no more identity politics. Let's speak the truth. Let's talk about what's going on out there. There's a person being prosecuted by the system, a system that right now all they talk about is identity politics and the minorities and LGBTQ and all this woke nonsense. But what about the real problems? What about the homelessness in this country? What about everything that's going on? But no, they want to use their full power on an individual. Forget that it's Trump. Again, today is him, tomorrow it can be you. But we live in some crazy time, and we got to talk about it, not be afraid to talk about it. Because a lot of people don't talk because they don't want to be canceled, right? We're talking about people's salary. Some people make a lot of money off of this, and they don't want that money to go away, especially when they're doing good. And you have people just falling in line. And I really hate listening to those people that fall in line and just give out wrong information or just try to deceive others. But it feels like they're waiting for Trump to get into office and then complain about the government when it's somebody they don't like. Right now, they're not complaining about the government because there's a Democrat in office. Let's all be honest here, or in my opinion. But as soon as somebody else comes in, like a Republican, they want to start complaining. Like it's okay to complain. But you know what? Let's complain in general. Doesn't matter who it is. We have a problem. We have a system that is not working for us and helping us. So therefore, we got to voice our opinion. But I'm gonna leave it right there. Again, welcome to Verbal on Life. If you stuck around this long, hopefully earn your subscription. So go ahead and click on that subscribe button. I'm not going to play the rest of the video, but Stephen A. Smith, he really did a great job just putting it out there and fighting for his opinion, right? His right to have a real opinion, an honest opinion, which a lot of people, again, don't want to put out there, afraid of being canceled. We live in a cancel culture right now where, hey, I'm putting out this platform, not afraid right now to being canceled because I haven't received anything from YouTube, because right now we're just on YouTube trying to keep my voice going. Because again, battling MS, I could still talk because I can, I will. You know, let's see how long I could keep the conversation going. Shout out to all the subscribers. I'm up to 1,720, I think. So please, hopefully this video earned your subscription. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button. All right. I was going to talk about, but I really like that video of the Black conservative. He brings out a lot of things. Wait. Let me see what else he says.
Really? Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. I got to tell you guys, I think Stephen A. Smith has a point, even though I disagree with him when it comes to the perspective that he's coming from, which is a fake enlightened centrist with Trump derangement, trying to save the Democrat Party from being beat by Trump, because that's exactly what he's trying to do, right? He's a Democrat, he's a liberal that is trying to speak out about the excesses of the left, right? The bad things on the left that are keeping people from supporting the left and are actually driving people to Trump, which he's 100% right about. Okay, the far left is driving people towards Trump. Bill Maher spoke out about this. This is why I compared Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher. Okay, I put them in the same bucket because, again, they seem to be people who understand that, hey, you know, the far left is not good, right? Not good for this country, and they're going too far, right? And they are one of the few people on the left side of the aisle that are actually willing to speak out against it, unlike people like Roland Martin, who is in lockstep with the establishment Democrat Party and the woke agenda. Okay, he will not speak out about the excesses of the far left. Okay, the woke gender agenda that, in my opinion, is in opposition to the racial justice agenda that pro-blacks have historically been fighting for, right? And that is what Stephen A. Smith is pointing out. Okay, if you think about it, the racial justice thing has taken a back seat to LGBTQ justice. Okay, it really has. We talk more about the LGBTQ movement and how their rights are being violated and how trans people are being oppressed and persecuted, more so than we talk about black folks in these so.
Yeah, I really hate the fact that they do more LGBTQ conversations. That's crazy.
called oppression and persecution, which again, in my opinion, I think all these people are full of shit, right? None of these people are being oppressed. None of these people are being persecuted based off their race or anything like that. They're just saying that as a way to try to gain political power and to cry, woe is me, I'm a victim, right? But regardless of that, Stephen A is right. People like Roland Martin, they're silent on the far left because he knows that if he speaks out against the far left, it's over for him, right? That guy, for as much as he pretends to like being independent, he really does not like being independent. He really wants to be a part of the Democrat establishment club, okay? He really wants to be a part of the club.
That's a lot of money that they make from being part of the club. And that's what part of the reason why they're doing that. All about money for themselves.
Okay, he does. He wishes that he was back on CNN. He really does. Okay, the only reason he's so proud to have a black-owned media network is because he's been forced to have a black-owned media network. Otherwise, he wouldn't have a voice, right? He wouldn't have a platform because the mainstream liberal media is not going to platform the guy. He's not talented enough for the mainstream liberal media, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. We got a new member. Shout out to Brian Thomas, who became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. If you found, again, thank you so much to Brian Thomas for becoming a member. If you found value in this video, go ahead and subscribe. But we're going to keep pushing forward and we're going to voice our opinion and be honest. That's all we want from the mainstream media. It's hard to do for them because they got a lot of money involved, but let's all be honest, okay? We're going to continue making videos. See you guys in the next one. Peace.